We continue now at the top of Daf Ayin Hayam at Aleph and Meseches Nedarim. This is Nedarim Daf A. The Gemara asks, Tanya Kivase de Rav Ami, as the Mefarish says, Umay Tanya Kivase, in what way does this Braisa support Rav Ami? And the Mefarish says, Mimay Mashkechinan Hacha, from where do we see from here, from this Braisa, the Tanya Kivase de Rav Ami, de Chesha'asa Ba, Maimer Pligi, that this is supporting Rav Ami's approach, that Rabbi Eliezer is specifically talking about a situation where the Yavam actually performed the Maimer. And the Gemara answers, Midakatani, it's from the fact that the Braisa says, the Tosefta says, Bein sha'asa b'maimer, uvein shalo asa b'maimer. In Rabbi Akiva's response, he talks about the fact that we don't make a distinction between situations where there is a maimer and situations where there is not a maimer. That indicates that we're talking about where there was a maimer that was performed. Inami me reisha, or you can learn it from the reisha as well, from the phrasing of Rabbi Eliezer himself, the Katani, because it says over there, Misha nichnas al reshuso nigmar alo. It says when she enters into reshus, into his reshus, so it becomes completed. V'idalo kaddish. Now, if the case over here was that there was no kiddushin or there was no maimer, so my nigmer lo. What does it mean that he's completing some kind of acquisition over here? Clearly, we're talking about a situation where there is a maimer, and that's exactly what Rabbi Eliezer is saying in a situation where you have two brother-in-laws. So once maimer is performed, so that's considered to be an acquisition, and that brother-in-law, that Yavam, will be able to annul her vows. And the Gemara says tifshot minei kisha asaba maimer. So you can learn from this, again from this brisa, that the case is talking specifically where a maimer was performed. And the Mefarish explains, Midakatani Rabbi Akiva Omer Klum Chilaknu Ben Yavam Ben Sha'asa B'maimer Mechlal Deshamei Leila Rabbi Eliezer. From Rabbi Akiva's response, it is implied that he heard that Rabbi Eliezer said, the Omer Dechasha'asa B'maimer Yafer. Rabbi Eliezer was saying, when a maimer is performed, that's when he has the ability to annul her vows. V'yahachi Mahadr Le Rabbi Akiva Hachi. That's why Rabbi Akiva responds as he does. Inami Midakam Rabbi Eliezer Bereisha, or you can learn it out from what Rabbi Eliezer said at the beginning of the Tosefta. It talks about the fact that she enters into his reshus and he completes the kinyan. Now, if there was no kiddushin or maimer, what does it mean nigmer lo? And so again, that's the proof that that's the support to Rabbi Ami, that Rabbi Eliezer is specifically talking about a situation where a maimer was done. And the Gemara continues, Mayu cheshar devarim kain nedarim dekatani. What does it mean when it says that just like other matters, that's how we should treat nedarim? That was Rabbi Akiva's argument. Amar Rava says, Hachi katani, here's what it means to say. Don't you admit that when it comes to a woman who's a shomeres yavam, so if someone else has relations with that woman, so they're not going to be chayav skila, it's not like a real marriage like an actual erisin, and therefore since it's not like an erisin in that regard, it's not like an erisin with regards to nedarim as well, and he cannot be made for the nedarim, he cannot annul the vows. And the Gemara continues, Amar Ravashi says, Masnisa nami deka. This is clear from the Mishnah as well. It says, Ein yavama gemura leisha kashem sha'arusa gemura leisha. It says the yavama is not an acquisition to her husband in the same way that an arusa is an acquisition to her husband. Again, that's referring to this exact idea. An arusa is a stronger kinyan. That's why there's a chi of skila in that situation. And the Mefarish explains, don't you admit that even when you do a maimer, there isn't a chi of skila kenar hamorasa? It's not like a nar hamorasa. Therefore, when it comes to nedarim also, she's not really like an arusa, and there's no ability to annul the vows. And the Mefarish continues, Masnisa nami deka, our Mishnah also indicates Rabbi Ami, the time of the Rabbi Akiva, Damar bebraisa, uchshar devarim kein nedarim mishum skila hu deka amar. The way the Mefarish is learning seems to say that our Mishnah is indicating both, like Rabbi Ami, that we're talking about a situation of maimer, and also indicates that the reasoning of Rabbi Akiva, the argument of Rabbi Akiva, was because of skila. Just like there's no chi of skila by a shomeres yavam, so too there's no ability to annul the vows. As the Mefarish here continues, the katani ein hayavama gemura leisha, midakakari la liyavama isha. Number one, from the fact that the Mishnah refers to the yavama as an isha, as a wife, alma kisha asaba maimer askin, and you see we're talking about a situation where there was a maimer. That's one support we're bringing from the language of the Mishnah. From the fact that there's a comparison going on in the Mishnah between that case and Arusa, so you see also that Rabbi Akiva is really bringing this argument that she's not like an Arusa. By an Arusa you have skila, but over here you do not have skila. And the Gemara continues with a Mishnah, Ha'omer li'ishto kol hanedarim shetidori mikanat she'avo mimakam ploni harehin kayomin. If a person says to his wife, all of the nedarim that you take from now until I come back from a particular place, harehin kayomin, I'm actually going to be upholding those vows, I'm mekayim those vows, lo amar klum. That's not a statement that is worth anything. He's not able to be mekayim the vows in advance. Harehin mufar, now if he says they're going to be annulled, meaning in advance, he's saying any of these nedarim that you take, I am being made for them, I'm annulling them in advance, so that's a machlokas tanoim. Rabbi Eliezer amar mufar, Rabbi Eliezer says they are in fact annulled. The Chachamim omrim eino mufar, the Chachamim say they are not annulled in that situation, you cannot annul them in advance. Amar Rabbi Eliezer says, Im hafer nedarim shaboa lichlal iser. If a person is able to annul vows that have already begun and came into the category of prohibition, lo yafer nedarim shalo boa lichlal iser, shouldn't he be able to annul vows which haven't even entered into the category of prohibition yet? They haven't even came into the world yet. Certainly, the hafara should work. Amru lo, they said back to him, they said back to Rabbi Eliezer, Harehu Omer, but the pasuk says, Isha yikimenu v'isha yifeirenu. Her husband is the one that upholds the nedarim, and her husband is the one that annuls the nedarim. And therefore we can understand that sheba lechlal hekim bo lechlal hafer, those types of vows which you're able to uphold, you're able to annul. Lo ba lechlal hekim, lo ba lechlal hafer. However, if they haven't come into the category of upholding them, meaning it's in advance, you're not able to uphold them yet, so you're also not able to annul them just yet. And the Gemara says, they have the following question, Rabbi Eliezer mechal cholin uvetel. And according to Rabbi Eliezer, who says that you're able to annul the vows in advance, is the idea that the neder is chal and it's immediately nullified? Odil malo cholin klal, or maybe it's not chal at all, it never takes effect. The Gemara says, Lamai nafkamina, what is the practical difference in terms of the answer to this question? And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Ayin Hey Amud Beis.